Many situations in life begin very normally, a vehicle moving a task in progress, or a familiar space with no sign of instability. But sometimes just a small change in vision force or surrounding conditions is enough to make the entire situation shift in a different direction in an instant. When a rock falls just a very short distance from him, the situation reflects how natural environments can change suddenly in open space. While moving, an electric car suddenly accelerates and hits the SUV in front, reflecting how sudden changes can affect safe distance. When turning onto a highway exit, what do you usually pay attention to first? When a heavy vehicle loses brakes on a slope, inertia almost becomes the deciding factor, showing that maintenance before a trip is always more important than last-minute reactions. In a nail salon, the ceiling suddenly collapses while people are inside but causes no injuries, showing that quick reactions can reduce the impact of an incident. Areas like gas stations always require precise control of speed and direction, because even a slightly incorrect emergency maneuver can lead to more serious collisions than expected. On the street, the rear compartment of an LPG vehicle explodes due to pressure, reflecting how fuel-related incidents can directly affect the surrounding environment. While working, a garbage truck suddenly veers onto the sidewalk, forcing two workers behind to react quickly, reflecting the risks that can appear during urban operations. A wall collapses onto a passing car, while the people inside remain safe, as an illustration of the interaction between structures and vehicles in urban space. At the moment of a lightning strike, a tree trunk is structurally broken, showing the direct interaction between atmospheric phenomena and natural materials. In a strong earthquake, staying away from glass and finding solid shelter, such as under a sturdy table, is very important, because falling objects are often the fastest danger.
Lord, tama na Lord! Lord! Tama na Lord!
Have you ever felt the power of nature at close range?
कौन सा? Open.
From above, rocks and soil collapse and cover the road below as an illustration of terrain impact when stability is lost.
और ये फंसा रहा था.
Ha caído el puente, ha tirado. Se tiró, se cayó el puente.
The loud sound of hail on the roof often reflects the size of the stones and the intensity of the storm, showing that just a few minutes of extreme weather is enough to create clear impact. At a resort in Mallorca, strong winds disturb the outdoor space as an illustration of sudden weather changes. In Kurdistan, floodwater rises and rushes strongly under the wheels, reflecting how currents can directly affect control while moving. Collisions at intersections are often more serious due to speed and direct angles, showing that just one time ignoring traffic signals is enough to turn a normal journey into a major incident. Just a few steps away from her, lightning strikes a tree right beside the yard. When lightning draws near, being outdoors with metal objects is extremely dangerous. Fortunately, they managed to run to safety in time.
That was a tree. The cat.
When snow covers railway tracks, a pickup truck standing near a crossing is hit by an approaching train, showing that distance and visibility play important roles in cold environments. In areas near restaurants and parking lots, just one mistake with the accelerator or a moment of distraction can turn a small movement into a much larger incident. On highways, improperly secured loads are as dangerous as speed because a suddenly falling object often leaves not enough time for those behind to react.
Yeah.
There was.
When a truck carrying logs loses cargo stability, logs fall out and hit moving vehicles, reflecting the risk of uncontrolled loads on the road.
So,
Lawsuit, right? Like,
oh god, yeah.
In Texas, a patrol vehicle on the way to a scene collides with another vehicle as an illustration of risks that can occur even during incident response. In St. Louis, wind force during a storm causes significant damage, reflecting the direct interaction between harsh climate conditions and the urban environment. In a town in France, flooding sweeps away a Mini Cooper, showing how quickly the environment can change when water rises beyond control. In central Mexico, flooding turns streets into continuous currents where a car is swept away, reflecting the unpredictable power of water. Amid the loud impacts of hail, a small umbrella becomes the only protection, reminding that nature can sometimes make humans feel very small. In Florida, hailstones fall continuously, bringing a rare experience where people clearly observe sudden changes in local climate. A heating pipeline explodes in the city, creating a large hole and breaking surrounding glass, reflecting the chain impact of technical failures in crowded environments. In a restaurant environment, continuously operating an equipment always needs careful monitoring because abnormal pressure buildup can turn a familiar kitchen corner into an emergency situation. A nighttime scene shows fish moving together, creating the feeling that the water surface is moving on its own rhythm.
Di mana nih kita ngumpulnya, Pak Batur? Ampun. Disiram terus.
On the sea surface, fish gather around a boat and jump together, reflecting natural cohesion and collective movement. While flying over Japan, a flock of sparrows shifts quickly from a concentrated formation to dispersion, reflecting natural movement patterns in the air. In a factory, a crane hook moves suddenly and is controlled in time as an illustration of how load-bearing equipment can react when balance forces change. At a construction site, a lifting component falls near the crane's operating position, showing that changes in force balance can lead to dangerous situations. That yard probably just wanted to quietly welcome the rain, but the hail chose to appear like a collective knocking full of unforgettable noise. Which moment surprises you the most? Comment your thoughts, like, and subscribe now. From an aerial view, each glide and wave rhythm blend together, making the entire ocean seem to open a path for the journey ahead. Amid the deep blue water and the lively sounds of dolphins, that moment is not only beautiful but also like a rare encounter between humans and nature. At the Sawtooth Mountains, when an earthquake affects Idaho, a rock slide occurs before the eyes of hikers as an illustration of how terrain responds to forces from below.
Oh my gosh, that's going into the river. Holy shit.
That was our jelly bean rock.
Dude, that's Dude, the rocket smoothie is gone! Crap. Holy shit! Was that? Oh my god. That smoothie! Smoothie is gone!
Holy shit.
Near Seattle, storm winds cause a tree to fall into power lines. Sparks appear as a small detail, but enough to show the impact of weather on essential systems. A moment of distraction at work that seems very small is enough to create a memorable collision, reminding that carefulness is sometimes the most important skill. When a truck is moving, the rear door opens and hits a parked vehicle, dragging it along, reflecting how a small detail can create major consequences on the road. At a railway crossing, a truck does not stop and hits the barrier, reflecting how ignoring signals can directly affect area safety. In a station area, a ceiling panel nearly falls onto a person moving below, reflecting how infrastructure can present risks even in familiar places. While on duty, a police officer stands near a roadway where an out-of-control truck passes, reflecting how risks can appear suddenly in traffic environments.
Boy, you got some ball. Look at that guy. What are you doing?
In the sky, the moment lightning strikes, an aircraft body reflects the interaction between aviation technology and atmospheric phenomena, where every factor is considered during operation.
What? Did you not see what your friend just...
That billiard shot clearly does not want to stay on the table as the ball decides to change its playing field and lands straight into the soup bowl of a nearby person. That phone call clearly becomes more entertaining than expected as laughter grows so strong that it pulls along the chair of the table in a special effect straight onto the caller. A normal, relaxing moment quickly turns into an unforgettable scene when from the screen in front, all eyes shift down to an unexpected guest at their feet. In front of a store, an awning overloaded with snow collapses right after a woman walks inside as an illustration of winter's impact on infrastructure. In the backyard, a woman moves after putting away a trash bag and hits a pole, showing that familiar spaces can still create unexpected situations when attention is lacking. A small moment during a workday suddenly becomes a joyful memory, as humor sometimes comes from the simplest things right at the doorstep. Are you sure you would recognize the signs before the ceiling starts to fall? In a neighborhood, an old hotel awaiting demolition suddenly collapses onto the street, nearly hitting a motorcyclist, showing that deteriorating construction areas can change unexpectedly.
Just wondered if anyone else is having...
The backyard pool suddenly turns into a frog resort, where the real owners today are clearly not humans.
Love some ideas. I'll swim in the...
In a vast fielded helicopter and a herd of livestock create a scene both unusual and interesting, where their coordinated movement makes anyone watching smile. On the prairie, a herd of reindeer moves in circular patterns, forming continuous shapes, reflecting collective rhythm in the natural environment. From above, a rare herd of sheep moves slowly along a road, creating a scene both peaceful and unique, like a beautiful slice of wild nature.
So many!
Even the people are just standing there like, what's going on here?
The parking lot suddenly looks like it comes out of a Hitchcock movie, as birds cover every space, making humans the ones out of place.
Let me roll it up before they come out.
That is crazy. It's like Return of the Birds.
That's what it is.
In a runway area, a collision between two aircraft leads to tail damage, as an illustration of the importance of coordination and observation in aviation environments. During a snowstorm at an airport, an incident between an aircraft and a baggage vehicle causes a container to be pulled into the engine, reflecting how harsh environments affect distance control. At an airport, an aircraft loses brake control and rolls until colliding with another aircraft, as an illustration of the importance of maintenance and technical monitoring. Offshore, large metal pipes are moved, while a vessel sways strongly, showing that the marine environment can increase risks when handling heavy materials. During shipbuilding at a dock, part of the structure suddenly falls, reflecting the complexity of handling large components. At a railway intersection, a car passes just as a train approaches, reflecting how safe distance can quickly shrink in complex traffic environments. While driving, a metal bar suddenly pierces through the windshield, reflecting how objects on the road can directly endanger the driver. In Trinidad and Tobago, shops record broken glass during an earthquake as an illustration of how geological forces impact urban environments. In Tokyo, an earthquake shakes a train station, reflecting how urban structures are designed to maintain stability in seismic environments. In Buffalo, blizzard conditions cover residential areas with thick snow, reflecting the direct impact of cold climate on daily living environments. When a snowstorm covers Erie, travel becomes more complicated, reflecting how winter weather can clearly affect traffic safety. In the southwest coastal area of Washington, large waves crash onto the shore, showing the direct connection between offshore conditions and strong water movement near land. Along the Brittany coast, strong waves from a storm directly impact a lighthouse, as an illustration of how the ocean affects coastal infrastructure. The log on a New Zealand beach that day looks like it came out of a strange film, as the layer of shells covering it makes anyone both curious and wanting to step back. When hundreds of frogs are active in a pond, the small environment becomes a dense system of motion, reflecting the richness of natural life. The dolphins seem to organize their own performance in the ocean, where the only audience needs to stand still and watch in silence. Moments like these attract attention not only because of what happens, but also because of how small details contribute to larger outcomes than expected. In your opinion, which factor plays the most important role in these situations? Leave your comment, and if you find this content useful, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to follow more similar stories.